Hello and welcome to a new episode of New Gameplay Today. I'm your temporary host, Ben Hanson, joined by Leo Vader.
Thank you for having me.
And Imran Khan.
I'm your temporary Imran.
That's right, Skyping in from San Francisco. Always Skyping in. He never stops Skyping in. Imran, what are we looking at?
We're looking at Crackdown 3, the newest Crackdown.
Leo, this is it.
It
this
looks
is
like
the legendary Crackdown 3.
It's here.
Oh my god,
It
we're
looks
seeing
like the old ones that I like. One that I like.
Okay, you're a fan of one, not so much two?
Yeah, I fell off of 2 for sure. One
Yeah, when I was
definitely a
talking
fond
to
place
them,
in my heart,
like,
though.
We're doing the interview, and I was like, he kept saying, "Oh, it's a spiritual sequel to Crackdown 1." He actually never mentioned Crackdown 2 until I brought it up.
They should have just called it Crackdown 2 at a certain point.
Yeah.
So Imran, explain, this is you playing? Where were you playing it? What did you learn? Tell us about the event. What did you get out of it here?
So there was a Microsoft event for just Crackdown, just to play the game ahead of their release in about 2 weeks. And what they did is they had us play a little bit of, like, about an hour single player and a little bit of multiplayer as well. And I think this is the first time I've ever got hands-on with the game, and I've been kind of, like, worried about it every time I've seen it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look great. It looks like what I remember Crackdown looking like.
Yeah, definitely.
Which,
But,
you know.
Yeah. I guess that's the goal, but at the same time, it's like there have been 12 years of multiplayer games or open world games since then.
Yeah.
And
okay, so
doesn't
what's
look like it's really pushing the needle that far.
Okay, that's what you went in with, and then what was
That's what I went in with. When I came out with, I'm like, oh, it feels like Crackdown. That's cool.
Oh, it's a good thing.
Yes, I like it. It reminds me of what I remember playing Crackdown was like. Of just like have fun, do whatever you want, kill a bunch of guys, guerrilla war tactics kind of game.
So it's more of a throwback than a reinvention of Crackdown?
It is. So when I asked them about how they like evolve the game at all, one of the things they talked about was, so they didn't say they got influence from Breath of the Wild, but they saw Breath of the Wild and were like, okay, cool, they're doing the same stuff we are.
The game that came out about 2 years after Crackdown 3 was originally supposed to come out.
Yes, Crackdown 3, this was announced 2014, I think.
That's so insane.
Crackdown 1 was kind of ahead of its time with its non-linear design. It was almost like Breath of the Wild, where you could run right to the final boss if you wanted to.
Really?
Yeah,
I've
which is
never
what they're
played them.
doing in this game. Like, literally, there's a, I'm not sure it's going to be in this footage, but there's a big tower in the middle of the thing, and you can just climb up it if you wanted to. Like, it's possible. I saw people in the demo trying to do it. It's just very, very difficult.
That's great.
This sounds really good. I've been craving more games in the Breath of the Wild format. I never thought it would come in the form of Crackdown 3, for Christ's sake.
Right.
Also, I like the throwing the tires and the car parts. Reminds me of like Fighting Force back on PS1 or something.
It's legitimately fun. Is you can pick up pretty much anything, and like true to Crackdown style, you can kill an enemy and pick them up and then throw them at another enemy.
That sounds like a great time. Why the hell not?
Love it.
So, are you in a mission here, or what are we doing?
At this moment, I think I'm just screwing around in the open world, and then I find the closest mission and try to get there.
Right.
Okay.
Which is like Crackdown 1, you could just pull apart any vehicle and start taking that. So this one is like a buggy kind of thing. I don't know why I was so amused by the idea of you can, like, it shows your signal on the back of the car. So like if you're reversing or turning left or whatever, it'll say that on this car.
Fantastic.
Sure.
The 5 stats on the left, they're the same as the original Crackdown. You've got agility, guns, punching, or strength, explosives, and driving. But there's decimal points now. What's going on with those?
So they, like, the decimal points, I guess, are because you only get, like, certain... It'll show you how close you are to the next upgrade, I guess, or the next threshold.
So the upgrades still only happen at the solid numbers?
Yeah,
but the decimal is just progression between them?
It's like the damage in Smash Ultimate, Leo. Everything needs decimal points now. We're a finely tuned society.
People love math.
Absolutely.
Details.
And slow swimming. Mm-hmm. Who needs boats?
One of the things that they told me is that you have 1,000 orbs this time versus 500 in the first game, which, again, they didn't tell me what was Crackdown 2, so I have no idea if that game improved on that.
Mm-hmm.
But 1,000 orbs is, we're looking at double the number of, like, chasing. There's no running away orbs this time, I think.
Good.
Which is good.
Yes.
That was a frustrating thing the first time around?
In the second game, they added those, is that you would chase orbs, and they would just run off the roof, and you'd have to go chase them. And then they go back up a roof, and like, okay, well, that's gone.
Yeah. So, it's fair just to, like, skip all story in this game. I can just collect the orbs and then try and make it to the end boss. Is that
Yes.
like, the ideal player of this game?
So you could do that, but by beating a boss, it makes the so I believe this is actually like the foot of the tower. I didn't realize that when I was coming in.
Gotcha.
But this is like the place you go where you're about to go take on the final boss.
Okay.
This becomes easier as you defeat other bosses and like actually do the main campaign. So like there's a back way around into the tower that is surrounded by poison. And by defeating one of the other bosses, which I think we actually do in this video, is you can eliminate the poison and make an easier way to just swim from the back way and not have to deal with this stuff.
Okay.
Okay. So a little more specific than in the first one when it was just lowering overall enemy power.
Yeah. This one you can actually like, I mean, maybe the other ones are different, but this one, it was straight up just, oh, there's less poison now.
That's cool. I've noticed you have a jetpack. Is there more changes to the movement abilities like that?
I think that's a double jump and not a like real flight thing.
Right.
Yeah, get your head out of your ass, Leo.
Sorry. Are there any upgrades beyond the collecting agility orbs to raise your max agility? Are there anything more specific like that?
I think it's just agility orbs. I was able to like, get, obviously with driving there's not a whole lot of orbs, there's like stunt rings and there's like, you drive in particularly crazy or interesting ways and you'll get points for that.
Please tell me there are races.
I believe there are races.
Yeah!
I didn't know races had a big contingent.
In this studio, they do.
They must, because they're in every open world game.
Leo and I race to the office every day. What do I need to know about the world of Crackdown? Are you a cop? What's going on here?
You are indeed a cop, yes.
Okay, you have to tell me legally.
Crackdown 1 ended with you actually, it turning out you're actually the bad guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was huge.
It's like we're protecting the city by all means, and now we can take over the city. And then Crackdown 2, I don't know, it involves zombies, I forget.
Okay.
But then Crackdown 3 is specifically ignoring everything. It is straight up like it's like you're starting Crackdown 1 again, and that you're going to a new city, and you are, the cops are here to save it. And it's still the same guy, it's still the same, I forget the voice actor's name, but he was Seth in Street Fighter. But he's still the cop narrator guy, the director.
Yeah.
So it's the same guy that ended up betraying you in the first one or deceiving you?
Yes.
And
they're ignoring most of that.
Skills for kills, agent.
Yes.
Huh.
I saw in a tooltip that he was a former agent himself. A little tip in the loading screen said that. So I don't know if that's a retcon or if that's something I missed in the earlier games, but that's part of the story.
They said they'd reference that ending a little bit, but they were like, yeah, a lot of people didn't like that ending, so we're just going to ignore a lot of it.
Sure. Any crazy destruction, or was that only in multiplayer, or is that news from 5 years ago?
It's both news from 5 years ago and only in multiplayer as far as I know.
Okay, gotcha. So the environment's not too destructible here in single player.
Yeah, I wasn't able to do most of that, but in multiplayer, it is completely destructible except for the floor.
Or you can harness the power of the cloud.
Yes, which I think is actually the reason why it's only in multiplayer, because they know you're connected to the internet.
Right.
Did they actually reference the cloud during your developer interviews?
Not during the interview, but in the spiel at the beginning, yes.
Do you feel like they're just obligated to well, I gotta hold true to that cloud mention?
I feel like, yes. I feel like you can't mention Crackdown without actually saying yeah, we might have made some big promises about the cloud before. Let's ignore that.
Yeah. What did you get any other insight from the developers? It has such a weird saga. We just talked to Sumo Digital on the GI Show podcast not too long ago, and they were very tight-lipped about this game, other than saying the development has been interesting.
I mean, when I talked to them about it, it was a lot of, hey, what took so long? And the answer was, it takes a long time to make a good video game. The subtext of that, I feel like it takes a long time to make a good video game and also not make a really bad one, which I'm guessing is what was happening to Crackdown a long development period. But I mean, what they came out with, it is straight up, it's a good Crackdown. I don't know, it's going to keep up in terms of modern open world games,
right?
But it's exactly what it says on the tin.
Real quick, most unsatisfying thing you'll ever see in 3, 2, 1.
Pretty sweet, Imran. You're gonna be at Fast 9, right?
I was doing my best to find a ramp so I could take a sick jump. And that very one small agility orb or not a driving orb for doing that is so sad.
I hope they buff that.
I feel like there is an audience for this game, just for like a good, simple, action-y open world game. Feels a little bit retro. F it.
I think their name is Leo Vader.
Hello, he's right here.
I am very amped for this. I love Crackdown 1.
That's a beautiful finale there.
Yep.
Good God.
Also, yeah, the boss I'm going after is named Khan, which is like very weird to hear constantly referenced at you when you're playing the game.
Because your name is Imran Khan.
Yes. I was like, okay, this is. Yeah, they spell it wrong in the NDA design document. So, or not design, like the little document they give you saying like, oh, this is what you could film. So they spell Khan wrong repeatedly. So I'm like, okay, that's an alternate spelling of my name. That's fine. But in the game, they spell it exactly like my name. So it's always like this. It's always catching my eye in a weird way.
Yeah, and so it kind of turns you into a cranky Khan by the end of it.
Yes, more cranky than donkey.
Got it.
So I'll just sit and live with that for a moment before we move on.
We don't got it. We got the action to look at.
Yeah.
Numbers popping off. Was that in the first one?
Yes, I think.
Okay.
I don't think so.
It is just, it's popped up in more and more games. The Days Gone developers call it popcorn, which is interesting.
Huh.
Visual popcorn.
Yeah.
But it's especially weird in that game how there's Borderlands-style numbers popping off people. I guess with this one,
so
we'll give it a pass.
You can like stop and like liberate these things, these prisoner hangouts. I don't know exactly what they do. They might just be like collectible kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a number of them, and they all kind of vary in difficulty. But like one of my favorite things about Crackdown is that if you just do things hard and fast enough, there's almost no real resistance.
Sounds like life, baby.
Pretty much. Like you come in here and you can just slowly like pick everyone off and kill them, or just come in and do everything you need to do quickly and run out.
I like it. Did you get to design this cool character?
No, this was a save that was already like pre-stat. So they were like, we recommend you use this save because you only have 90 minutes to play and you want to play around with like the fun stuff.
Yeah. Ooh, like this funky truck.
I'm not actually sure you can design your characters, to be honest, because they mentioned that there's character swapping.
Huh.
And that it's like justified in fiction somehow. But like there are actual like, I can't talk about the intro, but
Okay.
in the game I have seen actual design characters.
That's confusing. So there's character swapping a la Agents of Mayhem, the game we've all been thinking about but not saying yet.
Right.
Well, I mean, I don't think that the characters have different skills, but they have different growth rates. So getting agility orb with one character gets you more like agility than it would with another.
And you can hot swap them on the fly?
I'm not sure if it's on the fly or on death. I wasn't able to in this demo. I'm not sure if it's a thing you unlock but it was a thing they told me you could do in the interview.
Okay. Awesome.
Very curious about that.
Yeah.
Well, let's
I was able
jump
to play
ahead.
as Terry Crews in the multiplayer though, which is what that was the main thing I went there for, was to play as Terry Crews.
Why don't we look at that right now?
Hey, it's Terry Crews.
It is Terry Crews.
In multiplayer.
99 Terry Crews.
That's fantastic. Okay, so this is the multiplayer for Crackdown 3.
Yeah, this is Wreckfest, I think they're calling it. But this particular mode is called Agent Hunt, which is basically kind of team deathmatch, but when an enemy dies, they leave a badge, and you have to collect that badge for points.
Okay.
Now, Agent Hunt, he's from Mission Impossible, right?
Yes, Agent Ethan Hunt.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Now, I can't tell from looking at the screen, are these environments destructible or not?
Just a little bit, I think.
Okay.
And you've got this dash ability, I've noticed.
You have a dash ability on your B, which is basically like you can use it to like slam down or like jump up or whatever, but mostly people are going to use it to dash through buildings.
Right. Do you know if you get that in single player?
I don't know. I don't believe so, but it was not in my loadout before. So like this is a giant like multi-layered arena that's not symmetrical, which is actually kind of fun, but the actual like bottom floor does damage to you, so you want to stay like above as much as possible.
Gotcha. And it's all some wacky simulation here? Is that the text?
So whenever you die, the agent director like yells at you and says like, oh well, you can spawn for free, so whatever.
Huh. Did you get a breakdown of all the modes?
No, we only played Wreckfest Agent Hunt, so I'm not sure like what else there is. I know that like in terms of multiplayer, there's also 2-player co-op, but other than that,
Right.
I know there's different modes. It just we weren't able to see them.
Sure. Is this a whole lock-on system here?
Yes. So it is entirely, you can lock on or you can free aim, but like locking on if you're close enough is obviously easier.
Right.
Because as quickly as people move, you kind of want to stay on them. So the way it works is that if you see a line on you, that means someone is locking onto you. If you see a gray line, it means someone locking onto you. A red line means they're locking onto you and shooting. So you want to get out of there as quickly as possible.
This looks surprisingly more bat-ass jank, as I think
Yeah.
they say in the professional world. Is it as hectic as it looks to us?
Yes. Like, obviously, if there's not a whole lot of enemies around, it's not that bad. But if you're in the middle of, like, more than one person, it can be actually really complicated to figure out where you are. Which I think is intentional because they want you to, like, bust through a building and escape.
Yeah, this seems like a tech demo, like, focused multiplayer mode.
It wasn't, like, I had fun doing it. And, like, later, I only recorded the first match, but later matches I did both better and worse in places. But it is fairly interesting, and it's fun to jump on top of a tower and do a fist slam down and go through every single floor.
Yeah. And did they say anything about Xbox One X versus base? Like, all this destruction, that's all taken care of from the cloud or whatever.
I assume, yeah, it's from the cloud. They didn't mention anything about the X being different. It is PC, Xbox One crossplay.
Oh, very exciting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess with the emphasis on lock on, like, there's no going to be huge, like, skill difference between mouse and keyboard and controller, so
Yeah.
should be pretty easy for people to find competition there.
And real quick, did they mention the word esports at any point?
They did not say the word esports.
Okay.
I think I would have written that down if they had.
Okay, gotcha. Super cool. What other footage you got, man?
Let's fight
yeah.
your doppelganger.
And we're back to single player, or what is this?
This is more single player. This is when you get the mission to destroy a number of, like, Rezacon's, like, mining equipment, and then you actually go fight him.
Huh. And the Triforce on the right in the UI represents...
The Triforce on the right? The blinking thing?
Yeah, right above that.
That really is the Triforce, huh?
Huh. I actually have no idea what that is.
Well, we can assume the Triforce. They talked about Breath of the Wild, right? So,
I assume it lets you fight Ganon, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I guess that makes sense.
Cool.
Okay, so what is that UI overall, though, on the right?
That is... I'm not sure, honestly.
Okay.
I paid no attention to that, so obviously not that important for this mission.
I get it.
Wonderful.
So this is still somewhere in the city, right? This isn't like a one-off, standalone little bubble?
Yeah, well, this is like its own, like, not separate island, but it's a separate island connected by bridges. So this is meeting up with Rezacon, who is the, like, controller of what they call the poison called Chimera, which I'm not sure exactly what it does, but I gather it turns people into things.
Of course.
Like in Crackdown 2.
Hopefully nothing like Crackdown 2.
I noticed this is a cutscene. It's kind of new to
I don't
Crackdown,
remember
right?
Crackdown 1 having cutscenes.
Yeah, besides the intro one.
I like the back of the box for Crackdown 3, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a little checkbox.
This feels so silly.
It is. It is completely silly.
It feels like an early 360 game.
Yeah.
Which is like I wonder if that's the intention, because it, like, they nailed the feel of Crackdown in a way that I don't think you can do unless you're doing it intentionally.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How much did you get to play total?
I played about an hour and a half of single player and about half an hour of multiplayer.
Okay, gotcha. So still an early take, but I like that you're so positive on it overall, even though you're getting destroyed by Agent Khan here.
I get the feeling that you're supposed to die a lot, which I'm not just saying as an excuse.
Did you get that feeling because the developers told you that over and over again as you kept dying?
It's actually good
No,
that
they
you're
were
dying.
silently judging me.
Right. How much progress is reset when you head back to him? Because the cutscene doesn't happen again, I don't think.
Yeah, no, I don't think any progress is reset, because so the way the structure of this fight works is that you go in there and you attack him until he runs out of health, and when he runs out of health, he tries to recharge using the core, which is what you attack, like, when he's recharging, and then that repeats over and over. I think his health gets reset when you die, but the core does not.
Right.
Do you get a sense of boss fights overall? Are there going to be a lot of them, little of them, medium of them?
This is the only one we were allowed to actually do, so I'm not sure.
You doofus!
Good recovery, though.
I hope there was a passenger in that car like, what the hell did I do?
In fairness, like, that thing was careening off, but my escape, I feel, is the actual cool thing. Okay, so his health does not recharge.
Okay, gotcha.
So you basically lose no progress. I guess unless you, like, zone out or something.
Right.
Or let him do this before you get back.
Yeah, I didn't understand exactly what was happening here.
Feeding off the core.
You gotta ram a car into it, I think. Oh, good God. What's happening?
Yeah, so I think things happen in real time while the cutscene's going on, because that's the first time that, like, I've been sitting in a burning car and then a cutscene happened, and then the car just explodes when I come back.
God. All right, you're just wailing on that core.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations, you're doing it.
Get after it.
Yep. This boss really gave you a lot of trouble, huh?
I mean, it's a boss for a game I played for an hour.
All right, look, I'm not judging. That's fine. That's
Fair
fine.
point. I love him throwing the car like that.
That is great. He feels like a Mega Man Legends boss or something. It's such, what the hell's going on?
So occasionally when he throws things at you and you hit a corner, that happens.
What?
It wasn't like a bounce pad or something?
It might have been a bounce pad that, like, the variable went crazy.
Oh my God. All right. So expect at least one bug if you play this game.
Which, I mean, with death not mattering that much, I don't care, and that's funny.
Right. I guess that's fair.
So real quick, did you get to toy around with any of the agency vehicles? I know those were really cool in the first one. They all had special abilities that were unique to them.
I wasn't able... I went to the unlock screen. There weren't a whole lot of cars that were already unlocked, so I couldn't really play with anything. I did try at one point an agency gun, which just, like, froze people.
Cool.
Which was surprisingly useful for, like, you shoot them with a shotgun, freeze them, and then just punch them until they explode.
Smart. That's cool.
I like that rock got wedged perfectly. It's like you could have stood there and it just would have been stopped by the two sides of the buildings there. It's like in Solo trying to get through that tunnel. Sweet. So do you have more impressions on the site there, Imran?
Yeah, there's a written preview up on the site right now.
Okay. And also we talk about on this week's episode of the Game Informer Show podcast, which I think is on every platform known to man. Leo, what is new gameplay today?
Well, new gameplay today, thanks for asking. We take a look at hot new games as early as possible. We're putting this footage up as soon as we are legally allowed to.
And we do it not just for Crackdown 3, as a lot of people have guessed, but any new game that you might be looking forward to a little bit, if Game Informer has access to it, we're shoving it out the door and putting it in front of your eyeballs.
That's right.
Come hell or high water.
And we love doing it.
And we'll keep doing it every week forever.
Yes, we have a new gameplay today up of Wargroove. Why don't you look at that? Or Dreams, we did a live episode.
That one was wild.
Wow.
Imran Khan, thank you for Skyping in, sir.
Thank you.
All right, subscribe if you like us. Bye, everybody.